Welcome. See, folks are still connecting audio, so we'll give it a little bit of time. Good afternoon, everyone. We still see some more people joining and also connecting to audio, so let's give it a few more, like half a minute, and we'll get started. Thank you for joining us. Okay, oh, got a few more people trying to connect to audio. Let's give it a second here. Looks like someone's having trouble with the audio. Okay, looks like we're good now. We'll go ahead and get started. Thank you again for joining us. My name is Luis Chavez with the Career Ladders Project, and so happy that you joined us this afternoon during your lunch hour. So we hope, in addition to getting good, healthy food in your body, you're also ready to take in good, healthy information that can help you do your work in support of students, especially undocumented students, and give them what they need and what they deserve is good support. So we're really pleased that you joined us today. This is the fourth in a series of lessons from the pandemic, implementing systematic changes in counseling and student services. And in particular, the session today is serving undocumented students. We're gonna go ahead and get started, but before we do, we'd like to know who's in the room. So we do have a short poll that we hope that you all will participate in, and go ahead and answer the question, and we'll see who's in the room. Thank you again for making the time. We'll be sharing, I think the results will automatically show on your own screens, so that you can see right now we have close to 60% counseling faculty, close to 19–20% student services professionals, classifies also close to 20, and administrators about 9–10%. And looks like we have almost 80% participating in the poll. Thank you for participating and giving us a sense of who's in the room. Numbers changed slightly, but we're still seeing about the ratios that we mentioned. So we have a good number of counseling faculty. That's great, because we do want this session to be geared towards giving you the information and the knowledge and hearing the experiences, especially from students, about what undocumented students need and deserve. So thank you for joining us, and we can put the poll away now, I think. Thank you. It's still on my screen. I guess I have to get rid of it, sorry. Okay, so again, welcome to the poll. Welcome to the webinar. We're going to be doing a recording of this session, so you probably already noticed that on the top left side of your screen, there's a recording little icon going on there, because we want to make this available to the large network of folks that signed up and have been asking about this information, and are looking forward to seeing the recording since they weren't able to join us. This session is being sponsored by support from the Chancellor's Office, the California Community College Chancellor's Office. So thank you, Chancellor's Office, for your support to help put this together and bring this to you. Let's go to the next slide. Our team that's been putting the series on together are these folks on the screen now. Myself, Lupe Danos, consultant, longtime counselor at DVC, Valeria Torres, program coordinator, Christina Sandoval, senior program associate. And we put these together based on the folks that we invite, and we work closely with them to develop the agenda and the slides, information, and resources that you'll be getting. And in this case, we really want to thank our FCC partner team here, because they brought some wonderful students that you're going to get to hear from. So thank you all for your help and support. Let's go to the next slide. This slide speaks to the series itself. So I'm not going to read all of this. This has been on all of our slide presentations in the last 3 sessions that we had of the series. These are the topics on the left, the snapshots that you can see. We have a couple more to come. The purpose of the roundtables on the right-hand side, it's really exchange of knowledge and information, hearing directly from those that are doing the work. And our goal and hope is to create the stage under which you get to hear directly from those doing the labor, doing the work of whatever topic we're focused on. And really, especially because of the pandemic and the conditions that it's caused, this is an important time to share both challenges, strategies to overcome them, and what folks are doing out in the field. And of course, our next slide speaks directly to what this webinar is focused on, is supporting undocumented students equitably. And of course, there's a lot of detail. I have to really hand it to our FCC team members that you'll see that they've come fully equipped with understanding, deep understanding and long time understanding of the issues. So while you see the top line goal there about highlighting the complexity, we will only scratch the surface of the amount of work that is done to put together resources and understand the complexities of what it takes to support and serve our wonderful students that are trying to get through and navigate. So it's important that we find ways, and this is our way to kind of help share not just resources, but experiences and ways that folks have found to support undocumented students. So they'll be presenting both experiences, knowledge, resources for you to use in your daily work. And of course, the highlight will be hearing from the students, and we hope you gain insights that maybe you already knew intuitively, but it's something else to hear it directly from students. So we're very happy and pleased that we have students with us today. Let's move to the next slide. And I'm very happy to be able to introduce our acting chancellor, Dr. Daisy Gonzalez, who is going to give us a short message here that if you haven't seen, it's a powerful message from where she comes from and why she supports this work. So please, let's listen in together.
Hi, my name is Dr. Daisy Gonzalez. I am a first-generation college student, a former foster youth, and a proud community college alum. Today, I serve as the acting chancellor of California's community colleges, the largest system of public higher education in the United States. I know that many of the faculty, staff, and administrators at our 116 colleges come from the same background as our students and work hard every single day to support them. Our goal is to help make every student's American dream a reality. Each October, the California Community Colleges Board of Governors and statewide partners host Undocumented Student Action Week. This is who we are. Our system is focused on ensuring that all students, including undocumented students, can reach their educational goals in a safe and welcoming environment. The Week of Action gives our system an opportunity to advocate for policies and programs that support undocumented student success and energize our colleges to continue to provide year-round support. The undocumented students enrolled at our colleges are aspiring teachers, medical professionals, community leaders, and entrepreneurs. They will fuel our state's workforce and make a significant contribution in helping our nation recover from this pandemic. This is why this work is so important to our state and to me personally. Undocumented students and their families count on us to provide a high-quality education and support. Undocu liaisons are available on every campus, and undocumented student resource centers help students receive assistance reaching their educational goals, including applying for financial aid and legal services. And thanks to the California DREAM Act, non-resident students can apply for state-based aid. Their personal information is never shared with the federal government. It is our collective responsibility to ensure that undocumented students have the support they need to be successful and to feel safe in their learning environment. On behalf of the California Community Colleges, I invite you, our faculty, staff, administrators, and students to join us for a week of action and a year-round commitment to support all students. And if you're not already a California Community College student, I would like to personally invite you to enroll today. Visit icangotocollege.com. Thank you. Hi, my name.
Thank you, Dr. Gonzalez. She's not here in person, but the next best thing is to have her here on a short video. And if you hadn't seen that, what a powerful message and a way for us to begin this conversation and sharing out with you. Leadership matters. I said that earlier to our panel when we were getting ready here. And I can't think of another way to follow that up with the leadership that matters in leading this work for the state on behalf of the Foundation for California Community College. I'm proud to say, and if I could give the point of privilege here, that the Career Ladders Project is a program organization under the auspices and fiscal agency of the foundation. So we're happy partners here working together, and very pleased that Iris accepted my ask of her and her team to come and help us out today to put together a nice presentation, including getting some wonderful students. And I just wanted to say a few words about Iris. She's the Executive Director of Equity Community Impact at the Foundation, where she's been championing almost 20 years now, holistic student support. And because this series is all about giving students the support they need through the roles of counseling, and we have large number of counselors here today and student services personnel and others that support students, this was a perfect match that we thought would be great to bring her. She oversees impactful programs in various places, including immigration, legal services, foster youth that you heard the chancellor, acting chancellor mention, support services for those students, for health and wellness efforts, environmental equity programs, student ambassador programs, the basic needs, CalFresh, and so on and so forth. And again, you know, there's so much work that needs to be done in this environment of the pandemic and its effects. I couldn't think of a better person to bring in to help us lead this conversation and share with us all the wonderful resources that they put together and what they've learned about serving undocumented students. I'm going to turn it over to Iris and also mention that the two students that are with us today, they're already on and ready to go when she's done with her short talk, is Luis Carron Hernandez and Adriana Uribe. And they're both, Luis is from Hartnell College and Adriana is from Mount San Jacinto. So thank you to you both. I'm going to turn it over to you, Iris, now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Buenas tardes. So glad to be here. Thank you, Luis and team, and to our wonderful, amazing student leaders for joining us on this important conversation. I do have a kind of a unstable connection for the moment. So if I go off video, I'm still here. We have a ton of really important information to share with everyone. So really excited, and we'll just jump right in. I do also want to acknowledge my colleague, Marisela Hernandez. Thank you for your incredible leadership in this space and just for your support in putting this presentation together. And again, to our students for taking time out of your busy schedules and, you know, coming to teach us. I always say we learn more from you. And so I'm incredibly grateful and always humbled in your presence. So I think collectively, we all know, right, we have the system of higher education community colleges who really houses the most number of undocumented students. We have an estimated 50 to 70,000 undocumented students enrolled in our system. And we know that we have a shared responsibility, right, to provide support that is holistic, that is truly inclusive, and that honors the intersectionality of undocumented students. So regardless of immigration status, as our acting chancellor, Dr. Daisy Gonzalez mentioned, students are welcome. And as educators and practitioners, we're not only providing access to resources, but from an equity lens, often creating solutions that dismantle inequities that are institutionalized. And so I think for us, it's a really powerful, time to be in, to kind of constantly reflect on what we could be doing better to support undocumented students. So again, another reason why we're really excited to be here today. I want to start with just a little bit of background on statewide undocumented student efforts and really kind of help to set the stage for a few updates and again, resources that are available and that are coming also soon before we get to the prime time of our presentation, which is to talk to our student leaders. So some of you may be familiar with the Dreamers Project. And so a few years ago with philanthropic support from the James Irvine Foundation, we partnered with the Chancellor's Office and Immigrants Rising to launch the Dreamers Project, which is a multifaceted landscape analysis to get a better understanding of what colleges are doing to support undocumented students across the state. So we wanted to, I think, two primary goals. Number one, to capture the amazing work that was already happening across the state, but then also understand the gaps and the evolving needs of our system. So we heard from, I want to say 111 colleges, which that response alone, I think, speaks volumes to the importance of this topic. Then we went and had 8 regional meetings where we met with dozens of colleges and folks throughout the state, hearing kind of firsthand what those needs were. And all of those learnings really culminated in a report, which we'll drop here in the chat shortly and also follow up via email. And it now serves as a roadmap, right, for institutionalizing support for undocumented students. We identified 3 primary needs, and the first one, I don't think any of these will be a surprise. Number one, financial aid. We know the complexities and the challenges that exist there. 2, quality mental health resources, and 3, trusted legal aid. We also heard that other challenges included inadequate ability to outreach to undocumented students while protecting student data, insufficient institutional support, lack of campus-wide training, just a need for greater, student engagement opportunities, and also more definitive guidance and support from the state level, right? And so in response to these findings, the foundation, Chancellor's Office, and partners have advocated and implemented programs that respond to these needs. And so particularly around legal aid, which we'll talk about momentarily, training and professional development tools, health and wellness resources, guidance on policy and legislative mandates, and really sharing and scaling promising practices that are already happening across the state. Just, again, to kind of compile what we learned is there's still a real complex immigration and system, right, that our students are navigating. They have the challenge of wanting to maintain, confidentiality, but also needing support. And so that kind of push and pull, facing the massive legal constraints that we've talked about, and just the inability to receive financial aid. So again, those are kind of guiding reminders for us as we develop programs that address the needs of our students. We just wrapped up Undocumented Student Action Week. Really excited to see the outcome. We had some major components, which included learning lessons, statewide webinars, conversations with our intersegmental leaders. All of those recordings and resources are available on our website. Also something we'll be dropping in the chat, and we'll be following up via email. And in local efforts, we also celebrated the grand opening of 2 new undocumented student centers, one at College of the Canyons and also at Reedley College. So shout out to those colleges if you are with us. Next slide, please. Great. So wanted to talk a little bit about, from a statewide level, our Undocu Liaison Network. So this was established in fall of 2020 in response to Assembly Bill 1645, which requires that each college have a Dreamer liaison. So the network really aids to kind of provide that more cohesive approach to system-wide guidance, tools, resources, and adopting kind of innovative student-focused solutions. right? And so we have representation of over 110 colleges regularly come together. We've landscaped student services across our system. So as of today, we have identified over 50 undocumented student centers. Does not include programs, but just knowing that there's so many centers already open and more in progress is just a huge cause for celebration. Next slide. So a lot of our efforts, like we said, are focused on system-wide training. So on November 3rd and 4th, we will be hosting an Undocu Training in collaboration with Student Aid Commission to provide high-level training of financial aid processes in working with California undocumented students. So, including our undocumented liaisons, financial aid officers. So we're really excited about that. And we invite you to join us for this training. We'll also be sharing that link. And then in addition to that, told you a lot of resources were coming. We're also going to be publishing a handbook that's going to provide even further guidance and support for the system. So we're tentatively planning on releasing that in December, and we'll tell you soon how to kind of stay updated with all these resources coming. Next slide, please. So we wanted to talk a little bit about immigration legal services in partnership with the Department of Social Services and the Chancellor's Office. We are now able to offer immigration legal services to all students, faculty, staff, dual enrollment students, non-credit, and adult education learners. I say that and I still get chills just knowing that it was so long coming and overdue. The fact that we're able to offer legal aid to students that often have, are facing just really deep hurdles that prohibit them from staying in college is a blessing, right? To so many of our students. So we currently have 65 campuses that are serving as regional hubs. However, students in the neighboring regions can have access to those resources. We have now seen an incredible response. You can meet with, students can meet with an attorney and get kind of one-on-one support, but we also have Know Your Rights workshops. We also have guides and resources that are kind of available and across the board. We know that there's just an inconsistency and uncertainty with policy. And so it's really important for students to, just have that information for more clarity. DACA fee assistance is also available to renew or apply for the first time. And so you can get that information by connecting with your Undocu liaison. And then we also have some FAQs around legal services that we'll be sharing as well. So the big question is, how do you take advantage of all these resources? We have a newsletter that goes out every month. It includes updates, resources, events. We're going to share the link, but really encourage folks to sign up. And we also developed a learning module that's available on the Vision Resource Center. It provides basic, just common understanding of undocumented students from terminology to financial aid options, support in effective strategies to support students. So we also have the Find My College tool, which allows you to find who the Undocu liaison is at your college. And so we're going to also drop that in there. This is like resource overload, but we will follow up with an email to everyone. But as you can tell, we're excited for all these resources. So I will pause there, but really just encourage you to get connected with folks on your college. A lot of colleges have task forces and obviously Dream Resource Centers. Please get in touch with folks and just, learn about what you can do as an advocate, as an ally. But I would say the biggest takeaway would be, if you want to get more familiar, please visit the Vision Resource Center and take that module. Next slide, please. All right, now that I got through all those updates, I am so excited and so honored to hear from our true experts, the ones who really teach us my, students that I personally look up to, and we're going to dedicate some time to hear from them, and also then follow up with some time for questions as well. So it's my pleasure to introduce Adriana Uribe, pronouns she, ella, and she's a student at Mount San Jacinto College, and she's majoring in diagnostic medical sonographer. We're also joined by Luis Carrion Hernandez, pronouns él, he. He's attending two of our community colleges, actually, Hartnell and Sierra. And because he is an on AB 540 student who needed to look at options to attend school, he's maximizing kind of the ability to be at two colleges. So he'll share a little more about his story. And he's majoring in civil engineering. Again, what a privilege to have you both with us. And I want to start just by learning a little bit more about you two. And so, Luis, maybe we start with you, and then Adriana, just tell us a little bit more about yourselves, and maybe how the pandemic and the shift to a virtual environment has impacted you and your journey as a student, and kind of what resources have you found to be the most impactful?
So I'm gonna be first, or Adriana. I think ladies first, but if you want. So so the question is more focused on introduce myself, or talk a little bit about like this online shifting, or both, or.
Yeah, if you just want to tell us a little bit about you and kind of how are you navigating the virtual environment, right? And how has the pandemic impacted you? And it is a packed question. And kind of what resources are you finding the most supportive to you?
Well, and so I'm Luis Antonio for everyone. So I want to let you know that I'm Mexican. I was born and raised there. So and probably like a couple years ago, I took the decision to reassume my studies. I finished the high school there in Mexico, and I came to the United States, and I started to work. And for some reason, I understand that the the high level education, it could be a biggest trampoline to go to the goal that I want to realize. So I started my education like in 2020. In fact, the first time that I've been in a community college, it was in 2020. I went to with a friend. So, and there he told me, do you like to study here? And I said, man, I think I can't. So, my status. So no, he told me, oh, you can go and ask and get some information in the Hub Center. And I went, and they give me good news. So yeah, you can do it. So, okay, I have a question. Just let me know if I can get a certification with my name that can accredit that I can do this this job like professionally, like doctor, like engineer or whatever. Yeah, you can get it. Okay. So let me know what I have to do. Okay. What's your education? Okay, in the United States, 0. Okay. You have a lot of work to do. Okay. So she gave me like kind of schedule. So you need 420 hours adult school, you need 420 hours community college, and 24 you need credits just for reach the program, SB 68 or AB 540, something like that. Okay. So do you know I have adult school? Yeah. She recommended me one, and I made a plan for 2020. I'm looking at a house closest to the school, but in March the pandemic comes, so the adult school closed. And so, I made a big effort to get this room close to the school, but it was not necessary anymore. So I think every situation, and I think it's a good advice for everyone, even by myself again, every situation, even if this like mean or bad situation, bring good things. In my case, because the adult school closed, I'm still, getting more information, what I can do. I need to do something, like any course of whatever. I just need to do my hours. So, I've been talking with the counselor, and she recommended me online classes through Sierra College. And And I made Harnett College too. So I enrolled in both colleges because I have a lot of work to do. That's the reason, because I'm in 2 colleges. So, and everything is online. So I'm really thankful with the personnel of Harnett College. It's in Salinas. I've never been there, but you know, the people of this college is great people. So the online shift in my case, it's something really good because I'm working full time. So the hours are the best to me. So it's something really positive in my case.
Excellent. Thank you so much for sharing that. Appreciate that. Adriana, can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Hello, good afternoon. My name is Adriana Uribe, and the same as Luis, I was born in Nayarit, Mexico. I was graduated high school here in 2009. And now I'm an San Jacinto college student and part of the Undocumented program. When I got here in the United States, the same as Luis, obviously with new country and new language and everything. Not only that, but just like the way that people used to treat like with Hispanic people. I was bullied. The cholitas, they fight me, and just because I was speaking Spanish, and that made me feel so uncomfortable talking in English, learning English. I didn't want to learn the language. I was so scared to go to school. Finally, I graduated, and the same. My family, they didn't speak the language. Financially, they think that when you're undocumented, you never think you're gonna be able to go to college. That's not for us, you know. That's what my parents think. So we never talk about how going to college. So I just graduated, got married, and I never thought going to college. So one day, I decided to go to college and learn English, because I say if I learn English, then I could go do something. But I knew in my mind, I will never, you know, I didn't have the financial money, and I will never be able to do something else than just learn English. While I was in there learning English, they told me that I can go there, that I was already graduate high school and I was already past my ELD classes. So they sent me to the adult education counselor. And while I was over there, I was so scared, you know, because I always been under my husband. He's always has like all the bills and everything, so nothing was under my name. Then I was scared they were gonna ask me like to pay something or to, you know, social or anything like that. And I was crying and telling them that I was there only to learn English. So they sent me to the counselor, and I was be able, like, thank you that the financial aid, and they helped me a lot, and that was a lot of help with the, you know, with the Dream Act and the support they do for the undocumented. And the first semester that I was in college, 2 months before the pandemic and the COVID, the lockdown and everything came, so we went online, and just being the first time in college, the first generation, and going to online, it was really hard. It was really hard to understand like the programs, like the technology, everything. It was so hard. And then for me, my kids, they were at home, and it was so hard, frustrated, and I had to see a lot of times my professor, Laura Cope, and the UOPS counselors and the health center. It helped me a lot to go through this pandemic.
Great. Thank you so very much for that. I think one just kind of running theme is that you have found incredible champions, right, and supporters along the way, and that really is sometimes what makes it happen for you. And so I just want to take a moment really to acknowledge kind of your resilience, your commitment into looking for a better future for yourselves, for your families. And I have zero question that you inspire. I mean, you inspire all of us today, but that you inspire everyone around you. So, you know, just sincere admiration for all that you do. You know, we have folks here joining us today that are financial aid officers. We have some faculty, we have counselors, we have folks kind of from across the board, and just kind of continuing on that theme of what it means to really support you. Can you share a little bit more about what is the true support that you need as a student, what has made the most impact, and how can we collectively continue to empower you and ensure that you have the resources that you need to thrive. And we'll do a little popcorn here, so we'll switch back to Luis.
Okay, thank you. So, like Adriana said, or like everybody said, as you said at the beginning in your presentation, like the money is something crucial in our lives. So in my case, I became a carpenter here in the United States and learned how to make cuts, how to, you know, how to handle different materials, different kind of woods and plywood and things like that. In construction, you can make, you know, you can have a good salary. So, and that was my case. I was having a good salary. So, but I found a dilemma here. So I'm gonna make, you know, a few more money working in construction, but I don't gonna have enough time to study. So in my case, I need to get another just 8 hours job where the minimum wage. So I let it go my salary, which I miss it, not all the time, but sometimes. So this is one resource, like looking for a scholarship. But at the beginning, in my case, there is not the most important thing. I think at the beginning, I just want information. Just let me know what is next. Just let me know what is the program. Just let me know what I have to do. Just let me know where, when. So, and one thing is kind of frustrating a little bit, or sometimes too much, is like the emails. You know, when you are trying to get some information, so you send an email, and you know it took like, you know, like even days to, you know, to get an answer. So I think the money is an important resource. Another could be important. I don't know. It's like in the laboral aspect. I mean, for me, it's very challenging to find a job, and you know, not too hard, because when the people like to work, you know, you can work even around the corner. I mean, but I'm saying it's kind of hard if you're trying to get, you know, like a good salary, or you try to get a good schedule. That's what I'm. So it could be, you know, like it could be good, like to have like a kind of, you know, even a small list, you know, about like little things, and yeah.
Thank you. That was really insightful, and I kept hearing like clear, concise information, like responsiveness, you know, referrals to different resources that are applicable to your situation. And so that is actually really an important reminder for all of us. So thank you for sharing that. Loriana?
Yes, when you're documented, you feel so untrustful, like you can trust nobody. I was so scared to share that I was undocumented. Now, no more. I just feel like that's a new thing, you know, like we need to support each other. And not only Adriana here, it's a lot of Adrianas out there and undocumented people that needs to know, like, the support. What helped me, I remember in the counselors, I saw like the poster, it says that you can go to college and it's free and it's for undocumented, DACA, DREAMAC. That for me hit me, that make me feel trust. And the most people that have helped me, I know the counselors are really helpful, but for me, the BOPS counselors / DREAMAC, that helped me help so much in many ways that make me motivated and keep going, because it wouldn't be for them, I would have already quit, because there's so many questions. Like we need a lot of research, we need a lot of questions, like Luis said, emails that they don't answer. So I think we need like more information, books or anything that we can be like easy access. And the honor counselors too, for me, I've been really helpful in my communications. Now, back then I couldn't talk, and I was so ashamed of myself, like my way that I speak, my misspelled words. So now I'm here with you guys, I'm right here talking, and I hopefully this is not the first time. I hope
it can help a lot of people, and I keep going and growing and talking. And next time that I see you guys, I can be very, very fluent in English.
You are so amazing, and just your confidence and again your resiliency. I always say just the sole fact the day you chose to further your education and become a community college student, that in itself, Luis and Adriana, was revolutionary. And it is so incredibly inspirational for us. And the words that you've shared today, I think, are just as powerful and reminders for us about the importance of this work, but how what we're able to do really end up impacting amazing student leaders like yourself and the community. So thank you so much again for joining us. We hope to continue supporting your journey. You now have here a group of folks who are fans and who are here to support you, and you're just all just incredibly inspirational and amazing. Thank you so very much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you. We're so excited to have you join us and the wonderful input and insights that you mentioned, Iris, that they shared is so great. So I'm hoping that we have some questions in the chat for you and the students. And I'm going to ask either Christina or Valeria, if you're there, to either read them out loud or just point them out. I'm going to look at the chat too to see if there are any questions in there. If not, I know we have a set of questions that we could go to, but I just want to make sure our audience gets first dibs at any questions. I'm not seeing any, unless anyone else sees one.
Luis, you can go ahead and ask the questions that you had.
Okay. So this is a question for both panelists, the students. We want to, well, this has actually already been done. Let me go back to the other questions that we had here. Is there a question that you didn't get to ask, Adriana? Let's start with that. I want to go give you the opportunity to ask questions. I know you prepared some. Or I'm sorry, Iris.
Oh yeah, there's a lot that we talked about today, and it was probably information overload, especially all the acronyms, and a lot of what we talked about is just the importance of us advocating for resources, for policies, and to ensure that there are financial aid options, that there are resources, and that you can access at your college. Now, beyond kind of advocacy, what else is there that we could do kind of collectively? We've heard financial aid, right? But we also hear often about basic needs, food and housing insecurity, et cetera. Is there anything else that should be kind of a reminder for us? Like we need to look at that. We need to really further explore how we bring additional resources that really meet the needs of the undocumented student population. Is there anything else that you would want to add around kind of what it really means to be able to have support services that allow you to stay in school?
I would say the professors, I'm sorry, Liz. I would like to, the professors, like the teachers, help us more to understand, because they always think that we already know a lot of things, first generation, and then the language, and a lot of, being undocumented, so many scary ways, and they expect us to know everything. And sometimes I think they need a little bit more like help us understand or take those steps that we need to do, because sometimes like for me, first generation, I don't know what was the step they used to tell me. They used to ask me, what's your majors? I was like, what is that word? I don't even know what's majors. So while you transferring to university, I don't know. I don't be able to afford it. I don't know if the financial aid was supported. Like all those things, like the many things. But now, like those are for me, as I list those, the one that I would like that the professors will help us. Not only that the counselors, but the professors in class that are like the majors. That's the ones that give us motivation. So I wish the professors will keep motivate us in the classroom too, like with paperwork, because I know more than one person will read those papers, and sometimes we're so scared or ashamed that we don't ask questions. So I'm giving those papers or any information, any poster that we see that is for undocumented people or DACA or any related, it will help us a lot, and without asking or be ashamed or to be identified. It's really scary for us. It's really scary.
Thank you. Luis,
So
did you want
I
to
want to,
respond?
yeah, I would like to add something. Yeah, exactly like Adriana said, it's happened to me exactly the same thing. So I know some things about the life. I know something about like the sheep, about the horses, you know, I know about the carpentry. I know, you know, I can handle some things pretty well. But when I decide to get back to school, I just have an idea. Okay, in fact I got a plan. So I'm going back to Mexico. So I meet, you know, I have some contacts in this city. I would like to work and study, you know. I have a plan in my head, you know, back to university, back to school. So, but I found this big chance here through the Undocu centers. But I don't have any idea about the names, like the mayors. I know what it was to study, something related with construction. I know what it was, but I don't have the names, the details. And even some people just when I ask this kind of question, like some people look at me like, for real? Are you talking like serious? You don't know what it? Yeah, it's serious. I don't know what it is. If I know it, I don't ask you, you know, like, well, I can do my own research, you know. I do my own research all the time, but you know, some things it's more easy to ask it because, you know, you save time. You know, you can find some things by yourself. For specific things about specific colleges, it's better to make it questions, you know, and can sound pretty stupid, some of them, but it's real. Another one thing that I want to, it would be pretty important, you know, about like the policies. When I was learning about the AB 540, that's the names, the first thing that I learned, AB 540. When this girl in the Undocu Center told me these letters and numbers, okay, I got it. AB 540. So, but it's kind of confusing, you know. In fact, I have this paper that I get in the 2020. Probably you could watch it, you know. And we have some the AB 540 and SB 60 something. But it's not. It needs more details.
Yeah.
About how to work every part, you know.
Yeah.
So another thing, it's like, let's say if this is my particular case, Harnett College is offering to me like the possibility to study 6 credit units for $280, something like that. It's great for any student. So if I try to do the same thing in another college, community college, I have to pay like almost $2,000 for the same 6 credit units. But I don't know if every college have a specific policy. You have a student with me, I'm gonna keep you with me. I don't know. It probably is what it is. But you know, some people can share. Okay, my college don't have this possibility, but look there. I mean,
yeah.
So it could be something great.
Thank you so much, Luis and Adriana, the insights that you give us and the information. And I love that you hold up the paper to the camera, because we need to see ourselves in the mirror and what we're giving to students and what's confusing to them. And sometimes in our effort to try to give you everything and resources, we overdo it and just you get left with numbers and letters, like you said. Thank you for that reality check. You're more than your status, you're more than your paperwork, and thank you for sharing those wonderful stories and your background and your experience. This is what I think a lot of us needed to hear. And there are other questions that now are coming up on the chat, but unfortunately we're having to wind down. Can I ask you, Iris, if you can help us answer some of these questions and we'll get responses. I'm assuming that there's information about the high school. Someone asked a question about the high school middle school messaging around undocumented students. And if there is, I'm sure it'll be part of the multitude of resources that we'll be able to give out to everyone, as well as some other questions that showed up on the chat. So if you're good with that, Iris, we can manage the questions that have come up in the last few minutes. So thank you for the panel, and thank you especially Iris and Maricela for the wonderful work that you do day in, day out to support students like Luis and Adriana. Thank you so much. We're going to go back to wrap up our time together. Thank you for joining us again. And we wanted to extend an invitation for those of you who are interested in joining a community of practice around counseling, student services. We've had this base camp group going on for a number of years, quite a long while now, and it's growing. We have close to 85 colleges represented across the state, a number of their associated high school partners and other folks that are involved in supporting students. So it's not just counselors, it's student services personnel, professionals as well. So you'll see the opt-in message on the chat. So please join us if you'd like. There's no charge. We're doing this as a service and support to the community. Next slide, please. We're going to be preparing for the next in the series webinar focused on making careers happen. And that'll be the focus of that session and the panel we're putting together. We're pulling all the final touches on that, and we hope you will join us for that session. It'll be the same channel. You don't need to re-register. I believe it's the same registration for all of our webinar series. It's all one registration, and you'll be able to join us for that time at lunchtime for the Making Careers Happen webinar. Thank you. And the next slide is just to say thank you to all of you, but we do want you to give us your feedback. So part of this is looking at a very short Menti. So if you use your device or your computer, go to menti.com and enter the code 7540-2170. You should be able to just answer a few questions that will give us insight as to what we can do better and what this session did for you in terms of giving you information, resources, or ideas to use in your work with students. So we look forward to your sharing your feedback. I think I see the chat has the link as well. So please use that if that's simpler. And we do have people responding to the one-word Wordle, insightful, inspiring. And as people add more, you'll see some other words showing up. Excellent, thank you. Important, absolutely. As people add more, resourceful, yeah, you're going to get a lot of resources here. Thanks to our partners here. Engaging, necessary, thank you for that. And for those that were able to go on to the next part of the question, we're seeing some responses here to the questions that you see about our goals of the session were to highlight the complexity and so on. People are responding to that as well. It looks like so far it's on the higher end. That's always great to see, but we're always open to any feedback that you may have. And I believe a couple of the next questions may get to that. We may not, we may have time to go over to the next one. Oh yeah, we do. Okay. Please list any strategies shared in the session that you can take back. So this one, we'd really love to see if there was anything during the session that was shared either by Iris and her team or the students that you thought, oh, Bob, I need to use that, or I need to find out more about that information and resource. So one was inspiring that I can share with my students. So that's great that you found something to share with your students that you're working with. Another person said webinar could have been a little longer. You're right. This is a huge topic. And maybe what we'll do is think about creating another session that maybe is a little bit longer, that gives more time for the subject matter to be explored and give you the tools necessary to do your work. So that's good feedback for us to think about and to use. Thank you for that. If there isn't any others, I don't know, Valeria, is there another question or was that the last one?
That was the last one.
That was the last one. Okay, well, we do have a couple of minutes. I'm going to ask Iris if you want to say any closing comments here, just because you've been such a great partner in this webinar. And I know that you probably said a lot already, and that you, I'm sure, may have missed something that you wanted to say. So this is the opportunity, as we're thanking everybody for joining us. Any closing final words from you?
Thank you, Luis. I just want to say thank you to everyone for taking the time out of your day to join us. And we know that there was a lot of information covered today. And so we look forward to following up, but also feel free to reach out to us if you have a question, if we can connect you to your liaison, if we can send you additional information. We really want these resources to be something that is, that is actionable for you. And so let us know. Again, we're here to support our college partners. So we look forward to having greater conversations with everyone and hopefully being back soon to have an even greater discussion. Thank you, Luis.
Yes, please take advantage of all the wonderful resources that Iris and her team gave. I want to thank everyone for joining us today during your lunch hour. We hope that you learned something from this, as well as received some great resources that you can use with your students in your college. Thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you again next time. Be safe in the meantime, stay healthy. We look forward to seeing you again. Thank you. Gracias todos.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon.
Gracias, Marisela. Gracias, Iris y Casi, por la invitación.
Sí.
Quiero dejar saber que, pues, gracias por la motivación y por esos programas. Nos dejan hablar y comunicar nuestros pensamientos y nuestras preocupaciones, y que para que otras personas puedan no sufrir como nosotros sufrimos, y que sea más fácil para ellos seguir adelante, y que saber que ser indocumentado no te quita las alas, sino al contrario, te hace crecer más.
Gracias, Adriana.
También.
Gracias. Mi tocayo, Luis, do you want to add
Sí,
something?
gracias.
Sí, como Adriana dijo, la verdad que para mí el hecho de encontrar un Undocu Center that means hope to me. So, and when you have a desire to do something and you get hope, so pienso que eso es todo lo que uno necesita. Definitivamente viene mucho trabajo, pero la verdad que estas personas, ustedes están haciendo la diferencia. Obviamente no todo es perfecto, obviamente hay muchos detalles de comunicación, algunos de información, pero si hacemos un balance, para mí son muchas más las cosas buenas que ofrece a todos los Undocu Centers, todos los consejeros, que negativas. Y claro, pues también yo aporto mis cosas negativas, ¿verdad? No todos los estudiantes aportamos siempre cosas buenas, a veces también somos medios necios en algunos aspectos. Entonces, gracias a todos los que hacen posible esta ayuda para los estudiantes indocumentados.
Gracias, Luis, y gracias, Adriana, otra vez. Adelante, juntos todos, ¿verdad? All together, we'll get further along and do this work together, because it is challenging and difficult at times, but working with students is the reason why we all do this work. It brings not just joy, but it's our professions. It's why we got into this work, is to be of service and support to students and the communities that we're in. So gracias a todos. Thank you, everyone. Have a good rest of the day and afternoon, and we'll see you next time. Gracias.